Welcome to Easy English Stories. I'm so glad you are here today. Today, we are going to talk about a very special woman. She was not born a queen. She did not grow up in a palace. She did not have servants or royal guards around her as a child. She was just a regular girl. A girl who loved school, who loved her family, and who had no idea that one day, the whole world would know her name. Today, we are going to talk about Queen Rania of Jordan, a woman who went from being a simple student to becoming one of the most powerful and respected queens in the world. And the best part, her story is not just about a crown. It is about courage, about love, and about never forgetting where you came from. So sit back, relax, and let's begin. It was August 31st, 1970. A baby girl was born in Kuwait City. Her parents named her Rania Al Abdullah. Her family was Palestinian. Her father, Faisal, was a doctor, a kind and educated man from a small town in Palestine called Tulkarm. Her mother, Ilham, was also from Palestine, from a city called Nablus. Like thousands of Palestinian families at that time, they had left their homeland and were building a new life in Kuwait. Kuwait was a busy, modern city, with tall buildings, warm weather, and people from all over the world. Rania grew up here, with her brother Magdi and her sister Dina. She went to the new English school in Kuwait City. She was a good student. She loved learning. She was curious about everything. And she had a warm, friendly personality that people loved. But her childhood was not only easy. You see, when you grow up as a Palestinian living in another country, you always carry a quiet feeling inside. A feeling that you are a guest, that you do not fully belong. Rania understood this feeling well. But instead of becoming sad about it, she used it. It made her stronger, more empathetic, more aware of what it feels like to be an outsider. And one day, that awareness would change the world. After finishing school in Kuwait, Rania made a big decision. She applied to the American University in Cairo, one of the best universities in the Arab world. She got in, so she packed her bags, said goodbye to her family, and moved to Egypt, alone, at just 18 years old. Now think about that for a moment. A young girl, far from home, in a new city, studying in English, working hard every single day. She studied business administration, and she was excellent at it. She graduated in 1991. She was 21 years old. She was proud. Her parents were proud. Everything seemed to be going well. But then, something terrible happened. In August 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait. Suddenly, the country where Rania's family lived was no longer safe. Thousands and thousands of families, including Palestinian families, had to pack everything they had and leave, with no idea where they would go. Rania's parents fled Kuwait. They moved to Amman, the capital city of Jordan. They started over again. Rania finished her studies in Cairo, and then she also moved to Amman to be with her family. She was 21. She had a university degree. She needed a job. So she did what any smart, hard-working young woman would do. She looked for work. Rania's first job was at Citibank in Amman. It was a good job, a professional job. She worked in banking. She wore nice clothes, went to meetings, talked to clients. She was good at her work. But after some time, she felt she wanted something different, something more exciting. So she got a new job at Apple Computers. Yes, that Apple. She worked in marketing for Apple in Amman. She was now a young, modern, ambitious woman in the city. She had friends, a career, and a life she was building for herself. She was not looking for a prince. She was not thinking about palaces. She was just living her life. And then one evening, everything changed. It was January 1993. A colleague at Apple, a new friend, invited Rania to a dinner party. It was a small private gathering at the home of a princess, Princess Basma, the sister of Prince Abdullah. Rania went. She dressed nicely. She was sociable, warm, funny, the kind of person everyone likes to talk to. And that evening, across the room, she met a young man. His name was Abdullah, Prince Abdullah, son of King Hussein of Jordan. When their eyes met, something happened. A spark, a feeling, the kind you cannot explain, but you know immediately is real. Abdullah was charming, educated, and clearly fascinated by this confident, intelligent young woman. They talked, and talked, and talked. By the end of the evening, neither of them wanted to leave. 2 months later, Abdullah proposed, and 5 months after that, on June 10, 1993, Rania Al Yassin, the Palestinian girl from Kuwait, married Prince Abdullah of Jordan. She became Princess Rania. Her life would never be the same again. Now imagine this. One day you are working at an office, answering emails, going to meetings, eating lunch at your desk. And a few months later, you are a princess. You have royal duties. You attend formal events. The whole country watches you. The whole world watches you. That was Rania's life. But here is what made her special. She did not let the crown change who she was. She was still warm, still curious, still deeply human. She and Abdullah were in love. Genuinely, deeply in love. A friend of the king once said, "The king chose a bride he considers an equal. He listens to her ideas. They feed each other's curiosity. That is rare even today." As a princess, Rania began working on things she truly cared about. Education, women's rights, children's health. She was not just a pretty face at ceremonies. She was working, really working. And she was also building a family. In 1994, she had her first child, a son named Hussein, then a daughter, Amman, then another daughter, Salma, and finally, another son, Hashem. 4 children, a family she loved deeply. She once said, "I make it a point to tuck them in at night, to read them bedtime stories, and to recite verses from the Quran as they fall asleep." Even a queen just wants to be a good mother. Here is something many people do not know. Rania never expected to become queen. Abdullah was not even supposed to become king when Abdullah was just 3 years old. His father, King Hussein, changed the line of succession in favor of Abdullah's uncle. So Abdullah grew up knowing that his uncle, not him, would one day be king. But then, life changed everything. In 1999, King Hussein became very sick, and on his deathbed, he made a final, unexpected decision. He changed the line of succession back to his son, back to Abdullah. King Hussein died on February 7, 1999. Abdullah became King of Jordan. And Rania, the girl who once worked at Apple Computers, who went to a dinner party and met a prince, who never planned any of this, became Queen of Jordan. At just 28 years old, one of the youngest queens in the world. Now the real story begins. Because becoming a queen is one thing, but what you do with that crown, that is what defines you. Rania had 2 choices. She could sit in the palace, attend ceremonies, smile for photographs, and live a comfortable, quiet royal life. Or she could use her position to actually do something. She chose to do something from the very beginning. Queen Rania got to work. She established the Jordan River Foundation to help low-income families build better lives. She launched Madrasati, which means my school in Arabic, a program to renovate 500 public schools across Jordan, because she believed a child cannot learn in a broken classroom. She created the Queen Rania Award for Excellence in Education to honor the best teachers in Jordan, because she knew a great teacher can change a child's entire future. She built the first children's hospital in Jordan. She chaired the national team for family safety to protect women and children from domestic violence. She also set up microfinance programs so that poor women in villages could start their own small businesses and become financially independent. She visited remote villages, sometimes unannounced, in her car, alone, just to see the real situation, just to listen, just to understand. That is not what most queens do. That is what great leaders do. Queen Rania did not just work for Jordan. She worked for the whole world. She became a global voice for education, for children, for women, and for understanding between cultures. In 2008, she launched a YouTube channel, a queen with a YouTube channel. She used it to break stereotypes about Arabs and Muslims, to show the world that Muslim women are not what the media often shows, that Arab families love, laugh, dream, and struggle, just like everyone else. She once said, "I just wake up and feel like a regular person at the end of the day." You are living your life for the people you represent. She joined Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and built millions of followers, not to post glamour photos, but to talk about real things. Refugees, education, Gaza, women's rights. She became one of the most followed world leaders on social media because people trusted her. They felt she was real. She was not performing. She was speaking at the United Nations. She advocated for girls' education worldwide. She visited refugee camps in Jordan, in Greece, in Bangladesh, to see the suffering with her own eyes. She stood up for Palestinian children, speaking loudly when others stayed silent. In a 2023 CNN interview, she said the silence of world leaders about civilian deaths in Gaza was deafening. A queen who speaks the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. That takes real courage. Now let me tell you something small, but very beautiful. Queen Rania wrote a children's book. It became a New York Times bestseller. It is called The Sandwich Swap. It is the story of two best friends, one who eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and one who eats a hummus sandwich. They argue about whose sandwich smells yucky, but in the end, they realize different is not bad. Different is interesting. And you know what? That story was inspired by Rania's own childhood, a Palestinian girl in Kuwait, who sometimes felt different, who sometimes felt like an outsider, turned that feeling into a book that teaches children all over the world to be kind to each other. That is beautiful. Today, Queen Rania is in her mid-50s. She has been queen for over 25 years. She has 4 grown children. Her son Hussein is now married and already making history of his own. She sits on the boards of global organizations, including the United Nations Foundation and the World Economic Forum. She was chosen as UNICEF's first ever eminent advocate for children. She has received humanitarian awards from around the world. But if you ask her what she is most proud of, she will probably say her children, her family, and the children of Jordan. She is a queen, but she is also a mother, a Palestinian woman who never forgot her roots, a modern Muslim woman who showed the world that faith, strength, ambition, and compassion can all live in one person. So that is the story of Queen Rania of Jordan, a girl born in Kuwait to Palestinian parents who fled a war, who worked in a regular office, who went to a dinner party and fell in love, who became a queen by surprise and then chose to use that crown to serve others. She once said something I want to leave you with. Education is a tool for individuals to empower themselves. It allows the poor to improve their lives, and it is an investment a country makes to protect its people. Whether you are a queen or a student watching this video right now, that message is for all of us. Never stop learning, never stop caring, and never forget where you came from. Thank you so much for watching Easy English Stories today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if there is a person, a queen, or a story you would like us to cover next, write it in the comments below. We will see you in the next story. Take care and keep learning.